Yep, Italy will be waiting for either of these two teams in the semi-finals after they beat Norway yesterday. But Lioness boss Serena Wigman is wary, very wary of a dangerous Sweden before that game.
Well, I think they're really together. It's a powerful team. They always have a very clear tactical plan, and they execute that always very good. And they have some threats up front, of course, and with the counterattack, but also when they want to go in behind. And they have some height too in the team.
Right, for more on this, we're joined by former Arsenal England forward Lianne Sanderson. Lianne, a very good morning.
Morning, Lianne.
Morning, guys. Lovely to see you as always.
Lianne, it's an interesting one, this is. Last couple of times England-Sweden ended in draws. Should England beat them, in your opinion?
It's going to be probably the most difficult Sweden we've come up against, to be honest. They're in really good form, coming off a fantastic result against Germany. But I think the Lionesses in this group of death that they were calling it, with the Netherlands and France and Wales, I think after that first game against France, we kind of, kicked into gear against the Netherlands. And genuinely, I believe the Lionesses, seem to get better as the tournaments go on. I've been interested to see, obviously the last tournament that we won was in England. Everybody was falling in love with the Lionesses during the tournament. And I think the fact that it's in Switzerland, the crowds have been fantastic. The Lionesses fans have been coming out in their numbers, but it's not going to be easy. Those of us that were there, those of us who remember that game, 3 years ago at Bramall Lane when Alessia Russo scored that back heel, which was a fantastic goal. But I don't think it's going to be easy. A lot of these players know each other. Leah was talking there in that interview about Stina Blackstenius, Arsenal teammate. So there's a lot of players that know each other in this team. It's not going to be easy.
I imagine they'll be confident going into the game, Lianne. I mean, it don't seem like 5 minutes ago where that they beat them 4-0. I think Beth Mee scored, Lucy Bronze scored, Russo scored, and then with that the back heel, Frank Kirby got the other one, and 2 draws since. So they're playing well at the minute. They beat Wales. They should be confident going into this game.
Yeah, they should be, but I think, ultimately, when you are the best at this moment in time, we are the best in Europe, we're the reigning champions, everybody wants to beat us. I personally think Spain are the team to beat. Watching that game last night, I did the game for talkSPORT on commentary, Italy versus Norway, and genuinely, the bracket that England are in by coming second in the group, it's not an easier route to the final, but somewhat we miss out Spain until we get to the final. So, and I do think those two teams are beatable, but we have to beat what's in front of us. I feel confident that the Lionesses can do it, but like I said, it's not going to be easy. They have really good individual players. I think the first 15, 20 minutes are really crucial. I imagine Serena Wigman will keep the same team as she's kept the last 2 games. She changed it after the first game against France because it didn't quite work. But for me, I just felt it was an off day for everybody in the game against France. And it happens, doesn't it? Everybody has an off day. We bounce back again against the Netherlands, and I think we're in a good spot right now.
What about the French, Lianne? Have you been impressed with France?
Yeah, I think, they've got top players. They have a lot of strength in depth. The fact they've got one of the best forwards in the world in Diani, and she's on the bench, just about speaks true. The problem with the French team, Alan, is there's a lot of talk off the field. They've left out 3 really top players in Wendy Renard, Le Sommer and Kenza Dali going into this tournament. And the managers turned around and said, in other words, they're too old to go, which I don't necessarily agree with that. So, but I think this French team have the quality, no doubt they do. I still don't fear them in the way that I fear this Spain team. I think you look at the Spanish side, they are the team to beat. They've got the best players in the world. And I think, England at this moment in time, we are not the best in the world, but we're showing good signs of that.
And they're definitely doing something right in Spain, aren't they, Dino? Women and men's.
Well, they look head and shoulders above everybody. I don't know what Lianne thinks, Spain. France obviously stole the ball off England. It was a bit of a self-destruct about that performance as well. But they're obviously a good team, sharp, good, quick wingers. But what's the danger tonight then, Lianne? Who are the danger players for Sweden?
Yeah, I mean, Kosovo Asllani, she seems to perform at tournaments. She gets massive moves when she plays for her country and then seems to get to clubs and not really perform. But she's their captain. She leads this team. Angadal, Stina Blackstenius, Johanna Rytting-Kaneryd, a lot of these players play for Chelsea and Arsenal, so they won't be strangers to a lot of these Lionesses team. And I think it will be a different game to the way it was 3-4 years ago at Bramall Lane when we beat them 4-0. I think this Swedish team have always had individuals, but they never quite had the quality and that fear factor. I don't think teams fear playing against Sweden, but I think this game tonight, if we can get this one over the line, I think it puts us in good stead going into the semi-final, because I genuinely fancy our chances against Italy.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Enjoy, Liam. Thank you very much. Keep up the good work.
Guys.
Thank you.
Nice
Okay, 8:42. Do you know anything happening? Any moves? Nope. Still
No,
2 under Hoyland, isn't he? Højgaard, sorry, 2 under.
Yeah, there's only 5 players under par, so it shows how tough it is out there. Darren Clark's level par. Dustin Johnson, has he just arrived? Yeah, he's 1 under. He's an old champion.
Oh, well, he was
playing on
player,
Live.
Yeah, he's been very quiet.
Can you remember when he got interviewed on Live and they were doing the full swing about Live? Sorry, they were on the full swing, and the fella said to him, "Why have you gone to play on the Live?" He went, "You people presume I like playing golf." He said, "I don't. It's just my job." He said, "So they've offered me half the work for treble the pay." He said, "I'd be mad not to take it." He's not bothered.
Honest. Okay, Sweden against England, 8 o'clock tonight, Women's Euro 2025 quarter-final, presented by Adrian Durham, commentary from Joe Shannon, and former England striker Tash Dowie.